You didn't get paid this month. The invoice you sent 3 weeks ago is still sitting in someone's inbox, unopened or ignored, and your rent is due in 9 days. There's no sick leave to fall back on, no HR department to call, no payroll that runs on Friday regardless of how the week went. Just you, a screen, and a number that doesn't add up. If that scenario hits somewhere specific in your chest, you're exactly who this video is for. Here's what nobody says clearly enough about freelance financial collapse. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you're operating a small business in a financial system that was built for employees, and pretending otherwise is the first mistake that costs everything. The feast or famine cycle isn't a discipline problem, it's a structural one. And today, I'm going to walk you through a real 4-step recovery framework, not the generic, cut your lattes advice, but what actually works when the ground disappears beneath you. Let's start with why freelancers struggle differently. Because understanding this matters before we touch the numbers. When you're employed, you get something invisible and enormously valuable. Predictability, same amount, same day, every single month. Your freelance income doesn't do that. It arrives in lumps and gaps, in big months and terrifying ones, and your fixed expenses, rent, utilities, subscriptions, don't care which kind of month it is. Add to that, no employer pension, no sick pay, no paid holiday that someone else absorbs. When you don't work, you don't earn. Full stop. Then come the tax surprises. Self-assessment, quarterly payments, a bill in January that you weren't mentally prepared for in October. And when things get tight and you try to access a loan, the bank wants payslips, it wants employment contracts, it wants the one thing you don't have. You're not failing. The system genuinely wasn't designed for how you work. But now, we need to talk about what you actually do when you're already in the hole. Step 1 is the most important and the most avoided. You need to look at the actual number, not the approximate number, not the number you're carrying around in your head. The real, documented, written down, total. Open a spreadsheet or a piece of paper. It doesn't matter, and list every income source you have right now, every single outgoing, and every debt you owe. Then sort that debt. Which is high interest and urgent, which is lower and manageable. Calculate your absolute floor, the minimum amount you need each month just to survive. Then check your tax position. Are you behind on filings? Are penalties quietly compounding in the background? I know this feels like walking toward the thing that scares you most. Do it anyway. Because here's what I've seen happen in my own finances and in the freelancers I've talked to over the years. The imaginary number is always worse than the real one. Your brain inflates the fear. The spreadsheet just shows you what it is. And knowing what it is gives you back something anxiety stole from you, the ability to make a clear decision. Step 2 is where the energy shifts. There are 5 moves, and I want you to start at least 2 of them before this week is out. Move 1. Triage your expenses right now. Go through every recurring charge on your bank statement. Subscriptions, software tools, anything that doesn't directly generate income this month. Pause it, call your providers. Internet, insurance, phone. Tell them you're in a difficult period and ask what they can do. More will work with you than you think. Move 2. Chase every outstanding invoice today. Not tomorrow. Today. Send a polite, firm payment reminder to every client who owes you money. Add late payment terms to every contract going forward. For a large unpaid invoice, and I mean large, look into invoice factoring. That's where you sell the invoice to a third party for immediate cash, taking a small percentage cut. It costs you a slice, but it solves a cash flow crisis without waiting 90 days for a client to pay. Move 3. Activate emergency income fast. Don't start with cold outreach to strangers. Go warm. Message 3 past clients this week. People who already know your work, already trust you, already bought from you once. Offer something you can deliver in under a week. Fill the gap in your calendar with something real before you start rebuilding the long-term pipeline. Move 4. Contact your tax authority before they contact you. HMRC, the IRS, whatever tax body you deal with, they offer payment plans. They will work with you if you approach them first. Silence and avoidance are what turn a manageable tax bill into a penalty spiral. One phone call can freeze that process. Move 5. Research freelancer support schemes in your area. Government grants for the self-employed. Industry associations with emergency hardship funds. Local business support organizations. Most freelancers don't know these exist. Some of them do. Now step 3. And I'm going to ask you not to skip this section, because it feels softer than the rest. Financial stress physically impairs your decision-making. That's not a metaphor. Researchers studying scarcity have shown that cognitive bandwidth narrows under financial pressure, meaning the stress of not having enough money makes it harder to think clearly about money. You are not at your best right now, and that's okay. But it means you need to be deliberate about protecting what mental capacity you have. Set a good enough for now standard. The goal this month is not optimization, it is stability. Build one consistent anchor into your day, a morning routine, a walk, anything that creates structure when your income doesn't. Talk to someone, a mentor, a freelance community, a therapist, a friend who understands business. White-knuckling financial recovery in silence is how smart people make their worst decisions, and separate your identity from this month's income. A slow invoice month does not tell you anything true about your worth as a professional or a person. It tells you that cash flow is uneven and systems need building. Which brings us to step 4. The 3-account system is the single most practical structural change you can make as a freelancer, and most people never do it. Account 1. Your operating account. Day-to-day business spending. Account 2. Your tax account. Every single time a client pays you, move 25 to 30% of it here immediately, not at the end of the month. That day, because that money was never yours. It belongs to the tax authority. It just arrived in your account first. Account 3. Your emergency buffer. Untouchable. Not for gear upgrades or a slow month where you want to treat yourself. A genuine crisis only. Alongside this, pay yourself a fixed monthly salary from your business account to your personal one, even if the number is modest. This one habit creates the feeling of financial predictability inside a fundamentally unpredictable income structure. Build a 3-month buffer before anything else. No investing, no upgrades. 3 months first, and raise your rates. I'll say it directly. Recovering from freelance financial collapse without addressing your pricing is running on a treadmill. If your current rates don't cover your taxes, your buffer, your emergency fund, and your actual living costs, the rates are the root problem, not your discipline. One client should never represent more than 40% of your revenue. One loss should sting. It should not end you. Here is where we are. Step 1. Face the actual number. Do a full audit tonight. Step 2. 5 immediate moves. Start with the invoices and the expense triage. Step 3. Protect your mental capacity. Talk to someone. Set a good enough for now bar. Step 4. Build the 3-account system and pay yourself a salary. Recovery is not a single dramatic moment. It is a series of small, unglamorous, consistent decisions made on the days when you don't feel like making them. Here is your one assignment for today, not a list. One thing. Open your bank account and write down your exact cash burn rate, the minimum you need to survive each month, not an estimate, the real number. Tonight, that single act of clarity is the first step every person who rebuilt from freelance financial disaster took before anything else changed. And if you're somewhere in this recovery journey right now, drop a comment below telling me which step you're on, because knowing where you are is how you figure out what comes next.